Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, did LeBron James throw his teammates under the bus ahead of Game 3? Plus, Steven Jackson joins the show to talk about Tyronn Lue tipping his hands. And is Dak Prescott being disrespected? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. People are still talking about J.R. Smith's blunder at the end of regulation last week that cost the Cavs. Earlier this week, ballislife.com released the video of LeBron's reaction to the play on the bench, and yesterday he was asked about it. Let's take a listen.
I was sitting on the bench and kind of just contemplating the last couple of seconds of what just happened, what expired, and from J.R. dribbling the ball out to G. Hill missing the free throw, seeing Draymond step in early on the lane violation, asking myself, did I have a lane to actually drive it if I didn't? So there's a lot of things that are playing through my head.
You have been getting criticized for not trying to pick up your teammates during that time. Is that fair?
Me being criticized? No. You saying I got criticized for something, right? No, I don't believe that. Not me. I don't care. I don't care at all. We're in the NBA Finals. How much more picking up teammates you want me to do? NBA Finals to compete for a championship. All right, appreciate it.
We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Welcome, Chris. Good morning.
Thank you.
You like LeBron's explanation?
There's so much he said. I've thought a lot about it because one clip we didn't play was when he said, I didn't want a Chris Webber moment. I was checking to see, did we have a timeout? Right. And that would imply that when he found out about that they did have a timeout, that he was relieved. So I thought about what in the world could LeBron meant. So I think he's sitting there quietly thinking about all that he said was going through his mind. And he begins thinking, maybe we didn't have a timeout. Because why am I the only one tripping that nobody called the timeout? Right. And so he asked Ty Lue and finds out they had one, and then that's when he's like, there's some relief, but it's anger. Well, why didn't you call the timeout? Right. So, look, I think I get the way he's feeling. Mm-hmm. He's like, JR, I'm not asking for 25 points. I'm asking you to know the score. All right? T. Lue, I'm not asking you to be Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson. Just call the timeout if we got it. And so I get the anger. Of course, it wasn't the proper reaction. At that moment in time, the Cleveland Cavaliers, his teammates needed a calming effect. They needed him to be like, all right, look, let's get it going. Game's not over. We got 5 minutes to close out this game. That's what they needed, okay? He didn't give it to him. I understand the reaction, but I don't think he was throwing them under the bus because if you look at his explanation, he admitted himself what you've been saying. He said, I was thinking, should I have just driven, right? Instead of passing to George Hill, could I have gone to the basket? So that's looking at himself and then saying, maybe we didn't have a timeout. Like, I may have messed up too. So I think he was just totally opening up and sharing what he was
I think the thing is, if you look, he tried to get a timeout, and Ed Malloy had done repositioned himself, and so he didn't see it. So LeBron is thinking, well, he didn't give me a timeout. Maybe we don't have one, and he don't want to tee me up because that'd be a terrible way to lose the game. I call a timeout. They go shoot the free throw. And then now, all of a sudden, the Chris Webber play is number 2. I'm number 1 because it happened to LeBron James. No question. Also, what's going through his head is like, JR, score. They always, when they commit a foul, what's the first thing they do? They look up at the board. Let me see the replay. Yeah. So up on that board, they also, score, points, fouls. They have all that up there. JR, that's all I'm asking you to, JR, count. Because you can count to 16 million because that's what you got because of me. Now, all I'm asking you, I don't need 20. I don't need 25. But I need you to be able to count and give me like 10 to 12 points. Can you do that, JR? Skip, there's a lot of things. Let me tell you something. Chris, you and I both raised in the South, and everybody say, you need a calming effect. When I was crying, my granddaddy say? He said, boy, I'm going to give you something to cry about.
I get it. You're right.
That's not just a story.
I've heard
Hey, that ain't no situation where, hey, Papa, put your arm around me and tell me everything going to be okay. He said, I'm going to give you something to cry about. Well, you just did. That's why I'm crying. Buck up.
You dealing with grown
maybe
men.
Ty Lue should have said that to LeBron James.
I wish he might.
Huh?
I wish he might.
Who was throwing the biggest tantrum on the bench?
Well, that's interesting. I mean, that's a good point. Why didn't T. Lue say, look, we need you. Let's get it? Because the game.
Everybody in the huddle seemed intimidated by LeBron's disassociation. LeBron's putting his head in his hands, and everybody's just cowering.
Yeah,
like,
they were.
But if you think about it, Skip, at the end of the game, when they're walking towards the bench, only one player comes to shake his hand. That's Kyle Korver. Shakes JR's hand.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else touch JR or say anything to him. Only Kyle Korver, because they know he done stepped in it. He stepped in that one.
Go ahead, Skip.
Okay, look. Everything you just said about what's going through the highest IQ mind in basketball, I think in basketball history, is LeBron James. That all should run through your head after the game's over. It's what we're all taught from grade school on. In that moment, you have to let it all go because you still have a golden opportunity at Golden State. You have 5 minutes of overtime, and you know you had them on the ropes. You had them on the run down the stretch. They couldn't figure out how to close it. Am I the alpha? Am I the number one? Is it my turn to shoot or your turn to shoot? They were shaky down the stretch because they're often shaky down the stretch. Now you got 5 minutes to close a deal that you should have closed at the end of regulation, and it became a disaster. We get it, but it's over. It is crying over spilled milk. Don't cry about it. Fix it. I just got a text from a close friend of Michael Jordan's, and he said, you know what Mike would have done in the huddle at that moment? He would, to your point that you just made about JR, he would have pulled JR close, and in language I cannot use here on the air, he would have said, I'm going to your money. Now you're going to hit me a shot in overtime. You're going to hit me a big shot. And he would have put the fear of God back into JR and tried to snap him out of his funk and say, here we go. We got this, right? You can't do like they just go as LeBron goes. And then he just wasn't into it. And maybe they weren't going to win the overtime anyway. Maybe it was just such a disaster that they were just psychologically shot. But LeBron failed to reset the tone that he'd been setting the whole regulation. He'd scored 49 points. They couldn't stop him. And then he wouldn't even take a shot for the first 2 minutes and 26 seconds of overtime, and you're down 7 when he finally elects to shoot. And he takes 4 shots half-heartedly, in my view, and missed all 4 of them, and they get blown off the floor in overtime.
But, Skip, the thing is, you're asking him to think about these are the things that he should think about after the game. But that's not how his mind works.
Maybe not.
He's constantly thinking because he's always like, when he goes down the floor and he starts to see something, when did they do that? He's always thinking like that, Skip. So he can't turn his mind off and says, okay, I'm going to set this aside because I can see it. I can see him because he's like, man, 4.5 seconds. JR grabs the rebound. Call timeout. And because JR, I think what made him upset, Skip, is that if JR would have said, my bad, I'm good. But JR says, I thought we had to leave.
I think
well, he was saying my bad. I mean, he was saying, I blew it.
I think LeBron fell victim to what I still think a lot of people are falling victim to. JR, that was a horrible blunder. But he did not cost them the game.
He did not.
Well, he cost them an opportunity to win the game. But at that point, you're still very much alive.
Very
much alive.
I mean, I could make a case you might even have the psychological edge at that point.
You might, because you had the chance to win.
Yes.
Golden State didn't have the chance to win. So they just all felt like it was over. And again, we talked about it earlier. I think they felt we were great for 48 minutes. We had them. We had a game nobody thought we could get.
Because remember, they were down. They were up, then they were down. And you're like, okay, well, here it is. Golden State finna pull away from them. And LeBron says, nope. And LeBron gets that three-point play that puts them up 2. And lo and behold, what happened? I said, just run them off the three-point line. Steph gets down the line, down in the lane. Kevin Love comes over late, layup, and 1. I'm like, dude, jeez.
You know, he mentioned Draymond going in early, that he saw that.
Okay.
So that's more on.
Okay, but this is just me. I got to call BS on that because we all know about it from the last 2-minute report that came out the day after. And LeBron knows about it. As great as his mind is, I don't think he would let that run back through his mind. He is genius. But
Basketball
again, nobody calls that. Everybody invades the lane before the free throw hits. No ref with the game on the line is going to give George Hill at Golden State another free throw to win it. They're not going to win it.
But here, my thing is that everybody's saying, well, they reviewed it and they got the call right. Because at the end, that's what we want, right? Did Draymond step in the lane? If he stepped in the lane prematurely, at the point of the game is inconsequential. You got to make that call. Because they went back to they said, well, they went back to the replay. They got the call right. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So if that's the end result, if the end result is the getting it right, the end result is George Hill should have had another opportunity to miss that free throw.
Okay, but the problem with that is it happens on almost every free throw.
Yeah.
So you can't, how are you going to call that one at the end of the game?
I just thought the refs took a coward's way out because LeBron was nowhere near the restricted area. He wasn't even close. He wasn't even, because that was
about a foot and a half, 2 feet. Yeah.
So that was the end and Chris, how you go in there and look at that? Okay, we're gonna see if once he's out of the restricted area, that should be it. You can't go back in there and look. I'm looking. The guy catches the ball. I'm gonna see if he had possession. No, he did not have possession, but the guy passed interference, so we're gonna give you no.
I mean, you're right. It never should have been reviewed, but I just can't get that upset about it because they were right.
Yeah.
It was a block. Like, I don't think it was that close because LeBron's turning.
Yep.
Well, see,
I thought it was definitely a block.
Actually, I've talked to a couple of officials, and they said because his left foot, they said he could be moving to absorb the contact. He said, but his left foot, they said that his left foot was planted. So once that left...
So they saying it
because they're saying the same thing that Steve Javie said. Steve Javie said, I would leave it intact because his left foot is stationary. Because I wanted it, that's the only time I turn on because I want to hear what he had to say, see if I was right. Because
so you do listen to the sound.
Yeah, well, once he comes up and starts explaining, because I want to hear.
He don't say much.
No,
he just gives the officials, view.
Because see, I want to know if I was right. Because I'm saying that's charged. You know, Kenny Miles get that thing. He's like. I got it.
This is where sometimes, we know how smart and intelligent LeBron is, but you've heard the saying paralysis by analysis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes you think so much that maybe he couldn't get the refs kind of blowing it out of his mind. Couldn't get JR blowing it, George Hill
missing the shot,
that's I think what it was.
Last point. Ty Lue, when asked about LeBron's response about, I was asking whether we had a timeout, the C-Web possibility. Ty Lue made a pointed point, I thought, when he said, end of the game, we all knew we had a timeout left, so no problem with the communication. So he was not so subtly saying, nope, I'm not going to buy that from my superstar because they had a timeout with 36 seconds left, and he says he made everybody aware we saved one timeout.
What about, did he tell JR to score? Did he tell JR to score that?
That's a whole nother issue.
I think LeBron knew we have a timeout, but I think sitting on that bench, he began to wonder, why didn't Ty Lue call one? Why didn't anybody else call one?
But Ty said he was trying to call one from the distant bench. It was in the other half court.
It was the same situation with Houston and Golden State. Remember they trapped Clay in the corner? And they were trying to call timeout. But all the officials are looking at Clay. Is he walking? Is he getting fouled? Is he trying to call timeout? They're not looking at Steve Kerr. Even Draymond was trying to call a timeout. But they're not looking at Draymond because he doesn't have the ball. Steve Kerr, he's not, unless he's right there in their ear, they're not going to hear that way down at the other end.
Yeah.
But Bron will make up for it tonight. Watch what he do tonight.
He better.
Goat Mass tomorrow?
Big game.
Goat.
They get tonight.
Big game.
Skill.
Yep.
I said 5.
Have this man ever let you down?
That time.
If LeBron James, a 40-point triple-double. If the man tell you grass gonna turn to cheese, start hustling cracker.
Really?
That still might not be enough. The man may have a 40-point triple-double, because we've seen it before. We saw it against Boston, and they lost by double digits.
No mercy.
The Warriors are a 4.5-point favorite tonight in Cleveland, even though the Cavs have won 8 straight playoff games at the Q. LeBron is averaging 40 points per game in the series, but his team is down 2-0. Yesterday, he was asked about tonight's game and said, quote, I feel great about the opportunity. So, Shannon, who wins tonight?
Cavs. Bucket. You want Sprite?
No. I said Golden State in 7 games. Well, come on.
Well, give me a chance to get some.
I can't.
I give you 2 points.
No. Give me 4.5.
No.
Spread's 4.5.
No. I give you 2. I give you 2 points.
Let me think about it. Keep going. See if you can talk me into it.
I believe LeBron will control the game. He did a great job of controlling the game in Game 1. He wasn't overly aggressive. He wasn't underly aggressive. He just made sure they got great quality shots, and I believe he'll do a great job of that in Game 3. The problem that they had, Skip, is that in Game 1, they allowed 22 points in the paint. They had 34 total points in the first quarter. 22 of them came in the paint. So basically it was a layup or a dunk line. I understand you want to chase them off the three-point line, but you don't chase them off the line and then let them go lay the ball up or dunk the ball into the basket. It's been universally said that role players play better at home. Kyle Korver and George Hill averages 4 more points at home than they do on the road. I hope some of that good old home cooking will serve us well at the Q, Joy. I hope there's love in the air at the Q. I really hope there's some love in the air. And I ain't talking about kiss cam love. You know what I'm talking about, Skip Bayless. Look, they're going to have to do a better job of just knocking down shots. In Game 2, the Cavs missed. They were 3 of 19 on open shots. Open is defined as 4 to 6. The defender is within 4 to 6 feet. Let that sink in, Skip. Right now, I'm about 7 feet from you. Cavaliers are 3 of 19 on those shots. What am I supposed to do with that? But that's LeBron. LeBron need to pick him up, Joy. He need to pat him on the back and say, yeah, it's going to be okay. See if LeBron, do what Jordan did.
Just distance yourself from him. Say,
So let me ask you a question.
I don't want to even associate with you people.
If you don't mind me asking, when he punched Steve Kerr in the eye in practice, did he put his arm around him?
No, but it was in practice. It wasn't right before overtime of Game 1 of the finals on the road.
So why would he do? What was he thinking? Steve Kerr wasn't doing.
He's crazy competitive. He's different than LeBron. He's built differently. He's a basketball assassin. You do not screw with him. If you do, you might just get a big fistful right in your face.
Yeah. He picked on little Steve Kerr. Oh, Stevie, picking on little old Stevie.
Oh, Will Purdue from Vanderbilt.
We already know the Vanderbilt players. We already know they soft. Oh, David Price, he be in there.
7 feet of soft.
Soft.
Right?
David Price, the pitcher. You know he saw people be yelling stuff. He gonna stop playing. You know, he hurt his elbow and he gonna stop playing Fortnite because his elbow hurt. Yeah, you should stop playing because so we know he saw Vanderbilt. Casey Hayward, he good people.
He's not soft.
Yes, yeah.
Best cornerback in football. I don't know. Is he soft? I don't know. Can you be?
The fact of the matter is, Skip, just don't let the Cavs have a layup line in the first quarter.
Exactly.
If you do that, because once they see the ball go in, Skip, it's a whole different ball game. So LeBron will control. I said he's going to be somewhere in the high 30s, 40 points with a triple dub. And we're gonna get that dub. I'm staying open late tonight.
Okay. Yeah. How close to score? Give me a score.
Even with that high 30, 40-point triple dub, they're not winning by more than 6 to 7 points.
So the reason I can't take your Sprite Diet Dew bet is because I did pick Golden State to win in 7 games. So obviously I need the Cavs to win a game. And this is the one.
No, you need them to win this game.
That's what I mean. This is it, man. This is it. You got to take a stand tonight. And by the way, it just triggered the thought in my brain. We were talking about Jerry Sloan in the first topic, and a lot of people out there watching may not remember Jerry Sloan, but he was a hard-nosed, two-fisted basketball coach who coached Malone, Stockton, Utah Jazz.
He coached like he played.
And he did. And my favorite all-time line from a coach was from him during that 98 finals when he said, "The most exciting thing in sports to me is to see who fights in a game. Who fights? Yeah. Big game, everything's on the line. Yeah. Let's see who fights, right? Yeah. That boils it down. Who's going to fight? You know what I mean? Not fist fight. Fight back.
Yes.
Who's going to take a stand? Yeah. And that will be the story of the game tonight. Who fights? Will Cleveland take a stand? Because the best game Cleveland played all year to me was Game 3 against the Boston Celtics because they got their butts handed to them in Boston twice by 25 and 13. And did they ever fight in Game 3? It was the best defensive game I saw them play all year long. They came right out and attacked on defense. I don't really care. The offense is going to take care of itself at home. It just will. LeBron's obviously the best offensive player in basketball. He's going to get his. He'll have 40 plus. I wouldn't be surprised. He's always near a triple-double. He may get it.
He's averaging 48 and 8
Okay.
in the games at home.
All right. Golden State on the road scores 10 points less than they score at home. They won't be quite themselves on the road. They're more gettable, more beatable on the road. But you have to get up in them early and show them, as we
Correct.
saw the Rockets do in Game 2. Remember that game at Houston? They just took them all apart. On defense, they got up in them because they're not a physical basketball team.
Right.
You can out-physical them and knock them out of their sets, and you can knock them off rhythm, and you can upset their basketball psyche. But you got to attack them. I would like to see LeBron take Durant at least for the first quarter, just to say, I'm here.
He does.
Sometimes he does, but I mean, just get up in it and say, I'm here.
The way they've been doing it is that they've been having LeBron has been taking Durant. George Hill is taking Steph, or sometimes they switch. JR takes Steph.
They've been switching everything,
Yeah.
and I know that's the new way to do this.
Yeah,
I like it when you just attack people and just fight through the picks.
Well, you can't fight through the pick, Skip, because that's gonna give them space to shoot that three. So you got to basically with them, you got to switch everything.
So, Tyronn Lue declared yesterday, and we're going to talk more about this a little later with Steven Jackson, but he just flat out declared publicly, I'm going to play Rodney Hood more. Boy, that puts a lot of pressure on Rodney Hood. But Rodney Hood can do one thing other than shoot threes. He is a really tough defender.
He used to be.
He's 6 feet 8 inches long, and I think he's got a 7-foot wingspan.
I'm missing something, Joy. He said Rodney Hood. Is Rodney Hood Robin Hood? Is he going to rob from the Warriors and give to the Cavs?
Yes. Yes, he
Because
better
I missed
tonight.
something.
But I want to see him play defense. I don't care if he makes threes. He can. He's capable of making 5 in this
Yeah,
game.
we need him to.
Yeah. Remember there's that one 7-game stretch back March, early April? They went 6-1, and he was averaging 14 a game.
Well, you remember his first game in the Garden.
Yeah.
He let it go. Then he go play Oklahoma City on the road. He lets it go. So, Skip, if you...
Is he capable? Yeah.
Yes.
Is the stage too big for him? Lights too bright? Maybe.
You mentioned Game 3
Yep.
of the Boston Cavs series.
By the way, they won that game by 30 points at home.
What happened? LeBron was able to play defense because everybody was making shots.
They were.
George Hill, JR, Kevin Love, Tristan was active.
But Cart became, it was before the horse. I mean, they played defense first, then the shots started falling.
It's like for them, Skip, when the shots fall, they get up into you and
Yep.
they play defense. When the shots are not falling, they lag back. They're like, dude, it needs to be the flip. You should play harder when you're not making shots, because if you're not making shots and you're not playing defense, guess what that means for the opposing team? 2, 4, 8, 12, 20, boom, ball game. And then you have to fight an uphill battle to try to get yourself back in this ball game. But that's not going to happen. I love the way Tyronn Lue, even though they lost the game, Skip, Tyronn Lue was damn near out of timeouts in the first half because he was calling to quell those runs, because he know that's a team, they get the 10, don't worry about it, just keep playing. Because before you get an opportunity to call another timeout, you're probably down 16-18. So I love the way Tyronn Lue used his timeout. But that crowd is going to be electric.
Okay.
The GOAT man's coming out tomorrow, dude. Go, James.
It could, and it probably should.
He coming.
Now I'm going to throw out one other name that we keep talking about, and I don't see enough of, and that is Kyle Korver. I don't know what happened. He's now 1 for 5 in these finals from 3 because he played 17 minutes and 17 minutes, and they ran nothing for him. They got him open rarely.
Yeah.
And he is their answer to Steph. Obviously, nobody has an answer to
Or
Steph.
you mean Clay?
Either way.
Because he does more running off picks, and that's the thing, though, Skip. But
I'm just saying, as a pure three-point shooter.
Yeah.
Hey, when I'm rooting against your Cavaliers, the guy who scares me the most, other than LeBron James, is that guy. Because he can go berserk from 3. When he gets the rhythm, shooting those free throw threes.
But let me ask you a question. If Rodney Hood's going to play some minutes, meaningful minutes,
I don't know.
You want Kyle Korver to play at who minutes get expensed? Is it JR and Clarkson?
Yes, it's JR. Like, I don't know why they protect JR. You say you'll lose him. I don't think you ever lose JR. He's in his own world.
Yeah, sometimes I don't believe he know he's there.
Well, that's what I'm
Sometimes
saying.
He already lost in his own
I
mind.
agree. Maybe you need to just mix it up, switch it up. throw a new feeling onto the floor, new chemistry, new vibe. Let's go this way. Sometimes it's like Steve Kerr made the switch of the finals back in 2015.
You know what?
When he put Iguodala in the starting lineup.
I think Bron's gonna do what you said he should have done game 1. I think he's gonna put his arm around JR, gonna bring him real close, gonna have him in the headlocks and look at him. Come on, fool. I need you to give me 15 tonight.
Okay.
And I need you to play better defense than what you've been playing.
By the way, JR loves LeBron. JR is always his biggest public defender. When LeBron's in some controversy, JR steps up to the mic every time and says, LeBron's the greatest thing in the world.
He should, because it was LeBron. Because remember, Skip, when they made that trade for Shumpert and Mozgov, JR was a throw-in, and they asked LeBron. LeBron said, get him, I got him.
Well, the throw-in was one time Sixth Man of the Year for the New York Knicks, so he's got some game.
Skip, we've seen him hit 50.
Yeah.
So we know he got the ability, Skip.
Yep.
It's just, you know how it is, Skip.
Yeah, I know JR. I like JR. Trust me, his heart is good.
Yeah.
His head, I don't know where it is. I don't know.
Yeah, he gotta.
But when he gets going, he can really get it going.
Yeah, but see, them flowers blooming this time of year, and so he need to,
Maybe.
put some water on them.
But some guys shoot better with the flowers. They do.
No, no. And then some guys with the flowers, they get the ball and they run out damn near the half court.
I don't know. So the reason I asked for 4.5 points is I had already committed in my head to my score, which I wrote down right here. Joy, you could see that. I know it's scribbled, but I got LeBron and company winning 97-93. So if you want to give me 4.5 points, I'll take the 4.5. No?
I'm not going to be able to do that, Skip. I wish I could, but I'm not at
How
this
much
point.
confidence do you have in your man?
I got the utmost.
Well, this is
And
it.
we're gonna talk about
This
it
is
later.
a GOAT game.
Yeah, I'll go. Oh, yeah. Oh, go James.
This is a take a stand.
Bron the GOAT.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here you got to. You know what? What do you say about your resume? Yeah. What have you done for me?
Oh, he updating it.
Yeah. Okay. You got to.
He almost had a triple dub, but he's gonna do better than that tonight.
Yep. You better update. This is a big night.
High 30s, 40-point triple dub.
Okay.
In the wind. I'm staying open late.
Okay.
Got vegan ribs on the menu too.
Yeah.
Last couple of nights you made LeBron sit in the back room or somewhere, right?
I closed it down. I
you
wouldn't
just
let him
closed
come
it
in. No,
when
you
you
can come to
Skip,
my
you know all
restaurant.
about barbecue. What do you think of the vegan ribs?
I don't eat ribs, so I don't know.
There's
They vegan.
vegan ribs now.
Okay. I grew up on ribs. I had them every night of my life until I was 18 years of age, and I've never taken one more bite of ribs since then. Not once.
I'm gonna give you some
Understandable.
ribs. Love me some good old ribs.
Real ones or the vegan ones?
I don't care.
Oh, you're all California now.
Like them old,
No mercy. The Warriors are 4.5-point favorites tonight and can go up 3-0 in the NBA Finals. LeBron has averaged 40 points per game in the series, but hasn't gotten a ton of help from his supporting cast. Yesterday, Tyronn Lue said Rodney Hood will get more playing time tonight after just playing 4 minutes in the first 2 games of the series. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Stephen Jackson. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. By the way, did you know he was named best trash talker in the Big Three last year?
And leading scorer.
And leading scorer.
And
So you're up against it here.
and couldn't post me up outside of Fox on Monday. He tried to
Really?
he tried to post me up. I put that forearm in his back. He looked back like, damn.
You would get
those
dunked
CrossFit
on.
muscles.
He would get
Dunked on.
skunk too, 12-0.
Don't. You ain't, Stack, you're not dunking now.
You sending me to the line?
You know, yeah, you go to the line. The first time, the next time you go to the ambulance.
Steven, did
Ain't
you
no
like
dunking.
Ty Lue announcing that Hood will play?
Not at all. Just playing.
Thank you.
Why announce it? I mean, what are you trying to do? Who are you trying to cater to, or who are you trying to make like you? Like, you need to make any adjustment you need to win Game 3.
Right.
There's no need to announce it. Everybody knows all the supporting class has been struggling. Everybody knows LeBron seems like he's by himself this whole series. So by you coming out and saying that Rodney Hood is playing, it's for some reason. I don't know who you're trying to cater to, but like I said, there's no reason for that. Just play the guy. You know, JR hasn't been shooting well. We know you can't play Kyle Korver that much because he's a liability on defense. Just play the guy. Coming out and announcing it, I don't understand that.
That was me calling. Tell you can't post me up. But anyway, can we please stop this? It's Rodney Hood,
Right.
not Robin Hood.
Yeah,
He's not
right.
going to be stealing from the Warriors and bringing to the Cavaliers. I don't care. So what? The Warriors know what Rodney Hood is. What? It's not like this is not like football and quarterback. You keep that tight lip because they might be variants in style. Rodney Hood is a three-pointer. Ty always says, I want him to be aggressive. But what does he do, Skip? He either going to shoot the three, take 2 dribbles and shoot a 22-footer. He ain't really going to the basket. And then all of a sudden everybody, oh, Rodney Hood played great defense. I can't tell. Oh, he's 6'7", he's long. And all he does is just open the gate so guys can go right to the basket. And that's why he's been on the bench. So I hope he can give us something. But and Tyronn Lue's like, yeah, Rodney, I'm letting everybody know you playing. You keep on talking, he talking about, I'm watching YouTube, I'll see what, I'm like, oh, I'm still that guy. Okay, prove it. Prove it that you're still that guy. You were that guy. You were the second best player on a bad team because remember, Gobert was hurt and they went on that run after they got rid of Hood. So let's not fool ourselves and be
They
thinking
went on that run because of that kid they drafted.
Yo, but I'm saying,
Right.
Rodney Hood was gone. So let's stop pretending that all of a
There was a
sudden.
reason he was gone because he's hard to coach, but he can get crazy hot and he can defend. He's built about like you're built. Same body, same wingspan. But I was shocked and dumbfounded by this, and it's not the end of the world, but I am so with you. Why would you just volunteer it to the media? Can you imagine Greg Popovich saying, you know what, tomorrow night I'm going to play Boris Diaw
Right.
30 minutes or whatever. You know, he just wouldn't do it because it doesn't matter. It doesn't, there's no strategic advantage to declaring it or not declaring it. You just put this, he's still a kid to me, he's 25 years old, Rodney Hood, and he's never been in this spotlight, and now you're thrusting him into the hottest spotlight in the league, in basketball.
Well, we told him.
You told him what?
We told him, hey, you play it, you're going to get a lot of minutes.
Why would you do that to him? He's obviously.
So what you want to do? You put his ass in the game the night of the game?
The lights are too bright for him already, and now you're going to make him sleep on
Hold
it?
on. The light's too bright for him, and we want us to play him now? I ain't playing him. I changed my mind. If I'm T. Lue, I change my mind.
Well, I mean, what other options do you have?
None.
And then with Hood, you can't be one-dimensional. That's a big reason why you haven't played.
Thank you.
Because all you do is come in and shoot the ball. You don't make anybody else better. You don't guard anybody.
Thank you.
And at this point, yeah, they need somebody to hit an open shot, but they need somebody to defend too. Just coming in and shooting the ball is not going to win the series.
Well, we got a bunch of guys that can just shoot. Ask Jordan Clarkson.
Well, actually, nobody can shoot but LeBron right now.
Well, they can shoot, but ain't nobody making no shot.
Right.
I mean, Jordan Clarkson got 19 minutes in game one. For what?
Okay, so what's the MO here? Is there strategic advantage in, are you trying to fake out Golden State that you might not play Rodney Hood? Because they don't care,
Well,
like one way or the other. Right?
The strategic part should have been not saying nothing, coming with your regular lineup and throwing him in and see what happens. Now that they know he's going to play, they can kind of prepare for him.
All right,
and they
fine.
can put him in the scouting
Is
report.
Tyronn Lue trying to defend himself, that like he's not making enough moves, like, hey, I'm going to make a big move. I'm going to play Rodney Hood tomorrow night. Watch this. Watch me.
Look, here's the thing. This is how moves work. When you only got so much money, there's only so many places you can move.
Right.
Ain't like you got Malibu money. He got Compton money. That's where he need to be.
I like Compton.
But I'm saying that's what he got with Rodney Hood. Y'all making it seem like Rodney Hood Anthony Davis.
Right.
And he been sitting Anthony Davis. Hell no, he's not that. We've seen Rodney Hood for 20-plus games. He was moping. He got upset. He didn't want to play 8 minutes, but he jumped up off the bench with 2 seconds. Now because he realized I messed this up. And it got in his head. Skip, stop. Rodney Hood is Rodney Hood. It's a difference when you, the second best player, you on a team with very limited expectations as opposed to being in the NBA Finals or playing alongside the best player. Stacks, you know there's a different expectation you play inside Tim Duncan as opposed to playing alongside somebody else.
Right.
That's true.
Big difference.
So that's what's getting Rodney Hood. It's not that Rodney Hood can't play. It's the expectations now that they have of Rodney Hood. Can you give us those 14 points that you gave us in Utah? He ain't even been close to that.
But is the expectation of him playing the last couple of games he played in garbage minutes and he played well, he hit a couple shots, is the expectation coming from that? If so, that's not good expectation because the guys he's playing against are not going to be the guys he's playing against in the game.
That's my point.
Okay, but alongside LeBron James, there was a 7-game stretch, late March, early April. Your team went 6-1, and he averaged 14 points a game.
What happened?
He is capable of doing it. I know it wasn't the NBA Finals.
Skip, he's an NBA player. All those players are capable of doing something. What makes the great ones, they're capable and they do it with greater frequency. This guy, that 7-game stretch. Okay, what happened since those 27 games after that stretch?
Who's the hardest player to play with in the history of basketball? LeBron James. Because the world says he doesn't have enough help. So every time a helper gets the ball wide open from 3, it's like, oh my God.
They hold it and try to get it back to him instead of being aggressive.
But here's the thing. When you play with LeBron James, for the most part, especially since he's been back in Cleveland, you have a very specific job.
Simple job, too.
That's Kyle
Well,
Korver.
but it's a simple, hard job. I mean, it's a high-pressure, simple job, right?
Stack, let
Right.
me ask you a question, Stack. J.R. Smith is making $14 million a year. Do you actually think in the NBA Finals you could go 3 for 10? Can you give me 5 for 11? Can you give me 4 for 10? Can you give me that?
Easy.
J.R. went 3 of 10 and 2 of 9. He's making $14 million.
Whose fault is that? Didn't LeBron help push for that?
Skip, that's what, he earned that contract in that season because he played well. Just like we talk about Dez. He earned the contract.
He did.
But you got to keep earning it. You
do.
just don't get to say, okay, I earned the contract in the contract year. Now I'm done. You got to keep earning it.
Well, a lot of stuff people don't understand is, too, those same shots in regular season are harder in the finals. Everybody can't make them shots when the light's on like that. You got guys that are great regular season players.
Yeah.
But when it's the chips on the line, when you have to make these shots, when every possession counts, everybody don't show up.
It's like field goal kickers. Skip, we see field goal kickers in the regular season, and they come playoff, be it the first round, the championship game, or the Super Bowl. All of a sudden, the ball going up in the sky. Like, what happened to you? Rodney Hood, you need to show me. But the thing is, we talk about Hood, and we talk about Korver, we talk about JR, like we asking them to give us 20. Can you give us 10 to 12 points? Is that asking too much for 20? JR played 30 minutes and gave you 5. Zaza played 3 and gave you 6.
So, Steven Jackson, tonight you have
I have Cleveland.
big, little,
Well,
close?
I have a close, and I'm really didn't want to say that, but I just give LeBron the props of going home because you got to think, Game 4 last year, they shot 53% from the field and 53% from the three-point line and barely won with Kyrie. This is the same Golden State team.
And that was the
a little
night
better.
Kevin Love hit 6 threes.
Right. They played out of this world and barely won at home in Game 4. They don't have Kyrie Game 3. And they've been struggling on offense. If they don't win this game, you can go and hang it up.
We got this game.
Warm the boat up. Get the fishing rods ready. Get the banana boat ready. Chris Paul already there. Melo already there.
Put something on the game tonight, because you talking like you got the Warriors. Put something on it.
I got Cleveland, like I
Okay,
said.
that's what I thought. Because he know what Bron capable of
You
doing.
get
At
nervous
home.
because everybody's picking Cleveland tonight.
No, I ain't getting nervous. Why'd I get nervous? I got him.
When the world says one thing, the other thing tends to happen. Right?
That guy right there,
I know.
he can make the world
It
spin.
seems like Skip know you pretty well now, bro.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Carson Wentz had to watch the Super Bowl from the sideline with an ACL injury, but Sporting News still listed him as the 5th best quarterback in the league in their newest quarterback rankings. Dak Prescott was put 10 spots behind Wentz at 15th. Dak has 45 touchdowns and 17 picks in his first 2 seasons. So, Shannon, do you agree with these rankings?
I think he's too high. I think Dak Prescott too high. Too high.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because Cam is 19.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
My point exactly.
He's a former MVP.
Former MVP has taken a team to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Alex Smith. Check down Alex.
23rd. Wow.
Stop it, Skip Bayless.
Interesting.
Yeah. I ain't got no problem with walking to him because they know what I know. He only going to go higher. Next year, he'll be higher than what he is right now.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Limp it to him?
Really, he sure will, Skip.
So
your guy will not.
Wait, he's ranked 5th on this list ahead of Big Ben and Matt Ryan and even Phillip Rivers?
Whoa, Skip.
What?
She asked me about Dak. I deal with the other situation later. I'm talking about Dak is ranked too high. 15 is too high because he's not better than Cam and he's not better than Alex Smith. Forget Andrew Luck because Andrew Luck hadn't played in almost 2 years, so I don't know where he is. I can't put him, he should be ranked lower than what he is. But with that being said, he's not better than Alex Smith or Cam Newton. All these other, I ain't got no problem with them being ahead of McCarron and Bradford and Manning and Flacco. I got no problem with that.
That's big of you, yeah.
Got no problem with that.
I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, but old walking to him, you see where he is, top 5.
Top 5.
They say
so
top 5.
you are right there on record as saying he is now better than Roethlisberger or Matt Ryan.
No, I got a problem
That's what this list says.
I got a problem
Are you
with-
disqualifying the whole list?
Skip, first of all, you got Jimmy Garoppolo at 8 in front of Phillip Rivers.
Well, maybe
really?
it's disqualified. I don't know.
No, I'm saying, but they cheated off my paper.
Oh.
Because I had old Dak a little lower than that.
Oh,
But,
really?
Yeah. They
So-
didn't get it verbatim.
One second-year quarterback ranks 5th going into his 3rd year.
Yep.
And the other ranks 15th.
Should be
That's 10
17th,
spots.
18th.
Yet, I just look at the raw numbers here. Let's start with my favorite stat, QBR. The best way to rank quarterbacks, rate their overall performance, both arm and legs. And Carson Wentz's first year in the league, he wasn't very good. He ranked 24th in QBR. Dak ranked 3rd, and he led most of the year. That was his first year. And then last year, your guy did finish first. My guy finished all the way down to 4. And yet, if you do a minimum of 600 quarterback plays last year, because unfortunately Carson Wentz did get hurt in the game against the Rams out here in Los Angeles, right? So if you do minimum 600 quarterback plays, Tom Brady ranked number 1 and Dak ranked number 2 in QBR last year.
We do a minimum of 500 plays.
Yeah, and so let's look at what happened last year. Your guy, walk it to him, was on a magic carpet ride. Nothing went wrong. He got new receivers, he got new running backs, he got fresh blood everywhere.
He Aladdin.
Oh,
That's why the carpet was magic. Yeah, he Aladdin.
Whole world.
Yeah, and meanwhile, my guy Dak Prescott, he finally lost Zeke after that cloud.
Yeah, that
hung over the
hedge.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember Job, the hedge? His hedge was removed. And what happened, Skip?
Well, he lost Zeke for 6 games. He lost Sean Lee for 6 games, the heart and soul of the defense. And then he lost Ty Smith for 3 crucial games without Zeke.
If you're that guy, you got to do it. Tom
By
Brady
the way,
loses, guys.
Des Bryant, by all of your view, was a disaster last year. You said he was just a shell of himself and a liability for my Dallas Cowboys. And half the passes that Dak threw last year went to number 88, and he led the league in drops. So everything went wrong for my guy, and yet he still finished 4th in QBR. If you average the QBRs for the 2 years, my guy's 73 and your guy's at 67. That's a big gap.
But here's the thing. Your guy checking it down. What are the explosive plays your guys got?
My guy's Brady-esque. He just takes what the defense gives him. You know?
Yeah.
We just saw an explosive play.
Bobby Brady.
Did you see that long throw against Arizona to Bryce Butler for a touchdown?
Stop, Skip.
Wow.
Will you stop? Because this is what I tried to tell you in the beginning. In their rookie seasons, you could not understand why people still had Carson Wentz ahead of Dak Prescott.
Well, who's people?
Everybody with rankings. The general manager said, they're wrong on this one. I keep telling you, he did not have a running game. He had no receivers. They go out there and get him a little help, a little this, a little that. Now look what happened. Now he in the front. My guy has finished someplace your guy has never finished, which is first on the QBR scale.
Oh, so your guy has played how many playoff games so far in his career? 0?
Yeah.
He's played 0. Wait a second. So he ranks 5th on the list with 0 playoff games?
He was going to win the MVP.
He's ahead of Big Ben and Matt Ryan and Phillip Rivers, and he's played 0 playoff games?
Had he not gotten hurt, he would have been the MVP.
Oh, really?
If you don't mind me
I don't think he could have done what Nick Foles did. Whew.
If you don't mind me asking, what's your quarterback's playoff record?
My quarterback played 1 playoff game against the great Aaron Rodgers and threw for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he had a QBR that day of 79. Aaron had an 80, but he had a 79 in a playoff game. That's high. Listen, it's scale 0 to 100. The 79 is high.
You know what I'm noticing?
Yeah.
Joy, I don't know if you noticed this, Joy. Let me give you a little context. I'm starting to notice that Skip guys, they put up these big old flashy numbers. How many yards?
302.
302.
This is first playoff game
First
as a
playoff
rookie.
game.
As a rookie against Aaron Rodgers.
Tom Brady had 505, a playoff record.
Record in the Super Bowl.
And both of them came to my restaurant and had a table, fine table. Put them right there so everybody could see them. Big old L. I put them in the front window.
Front window?
So everybody that walk by see them in the L Cafe, the losing cafe.
Yeah.
That's what I call it, Old Sharp losing cafe.
Did you let Mason Crossbar in the front
No.
door?
Don't do this, Skip.
Mason Crossbar hit field goals of 51 and then 56 yards to win the game. I don't know how they went in, but they did.
He said, I'm the restaurant owner in the losing cafe. He said, well, Shannon, Skip don't never say anything about Adam Vinatieri.
Well, he's not in this conversation.
Yeah, Tom Brady got 3 Super Bowls because of him.
Oh, but he drove them a lot, like 40 and 50 yards at a time to set up those field goals.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers throw? Did you see that throw? How he backpedaled, he pirouette, spinning around like that, and you're like, threw it.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw my Cowboys in a prevent defense with 6 DBs
What that got
back
to
at
do
the
with him?
20-yard line. I'm like, cover him.
They did.
Nobody covered him. He was standing by himself at the sideline.
Nobody can
It was
defend
pitch and catch.
Nobody can defend the perfect throw.
I could have made that
You
throw.
can't hit the perfect pitch.
Huh?
I mean, I don't care how good if he throw that thing just right on like 100 miles an hour right there, just on the right there. Man.
Well, can you explain how this guy's ranked 5th in the league with no playoff games at all? I'm not talking about wins or losses. He just hadn't even played a playoff game.
Well, hold on, time out.
Is this on is beauty in the eye of the beholder? Is just the way he looks?
Well, Andrew Luck has won a couple of playoff games. Why he not high?
Well, I don't know. That's a whole nother story.
Okay,
in this
Cam
list.
Newton. So Cam Newton should be in front of him.
See, you keep changing the subject because you have no answer to your guy having played no playoff games.
My guy would have played a playoff game had he not been hurt. You make it seem like his team was going to be 6-10. He had his team. They had lost 2 games.
Who had the higher degree of difficulty last year?
Carson.
Dak? Oh, Carson Wentz? Really? Yeah. Oh, with all those new toys, all those new weapons?
Expectation.
There was no expectation.
Yeah, it was.
There was none.
I told you what was going to happen.
Nobody picked the Eagles.
I told you
Nobody.
what was
Nobody.
Fly Eagles fly.
You did not tell me
Fly
what was
Eagles
gonna,
fly.
You told me Fly Eagles fly in December after you jumped on their bandwagon when you saw it was happening. You woke up one day and said, wow, my guy's starting to look good.
I saw the wheels coming off your bandwagon real early.
Well, it was
Week
because
2.
we knew that Zeke was going to go at some point.
But I tried to tell you that. You said nope.
Week 2, the wheels came off at Denver.
They never got back on.
Nope.
They were wobbling.
Week 3, they went to Arizona and had a huge Monday night win.
Well, I mean, they did get back on. They had that little
Would you
donut
believe that last year, a bad year for Dak Prescott, he had 2 of the top 10 QBRs in all of football?
And he had 3 of the top 15 low QBRs too. You remember that game? You remember that game in Philly?
How did he have low QBRs? He was ranked 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, but he had high QBR. He lost Aaron Rodgers again at
Law-
home,
I mean,
but he had a 97 QBR in that game.
What is it with him and Aaron? Why can't he
How
beat
about
Aaron?
against your guy Alex Smith that you're raving about? Remember that Kansas City game? That was after that debacle at Denver. That was the best game the Cowboys played all year. Remember that? They looked like a powerhouse.
Did you remember Alex Smith in the first game of the season, that Thursday night game against the Super Bowl champs?
You know, and then what happened?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then what happened?
He was the MVP for the first 6 weeks.
Huh? Who was the MVP of the whole league?
Tom Brady.
Thank you.
But
Who's
he's
ranked number 1 on this list?
Aaron, but
you think Brady's way overrated? How's he number 1?
No. We're not talking about Brady. You keep changing. I'm talking about Dak.
You changed the subject.
Dak is ranked too high. He should not be in front of Cam. He should not be in front of Alex Smith.
He's a top 10 quarterback. You just
top 10 of what?
Wait and watch.
No,
just watch what happens.
Stop playing.
I'm not
now,
playing.
you know good and well Dak is not top 10. Now, stop it.
I don't know that.
You playing too much.
Brady-esque.
Skip. He's not better than Jared Goff. He's not better than Deshaun Watson. He's not better than Stafford.
Yes, he is.
He's better than Phillip Rivers. He's better than Phillip Rivers.
I'll take him over Phillip Rivers right now. I will. Kirk Cousins ranks 14th. Does that make Minnesota queasy? They're paying him the most money. What did I tell you? He's 14th. That's the only one they got right on the whole list.
First Cousins. He's better than Dak.
Huh? Oh, please.
Better than Dak.
Dak beat him every time.
So?
Dak's undefeated against
But
Kirk
now
Cousins.
he got some weapons. Because Jordan Reed has missed 16 games. One of the best tight ends in the league has missed 16 games over the last 3 seasons.
Dak doesn't need weapons. He's just going to throw it to himself.
Well, then why didn't they get the playoff? He didn't need no weapons.
You know, I don't usually defend Ryan Tannehill, but
Yeah.
Mahomes and Trubisky?
I don't know how Mahomes is ahead of a bunch of people and he hasn't thrown a pass yet.
They got him ahead of Dalton. So you know
And I see Manning. Mahomes isn't above Manning.
Oh, interesting.
that's Archie.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Eli got to be like 38, 39.
No mercy.
Tom Brady made his highly anticipated appearance at the Patriots' mandatory minicamp yesterday. Brady missed all of OTAs and doesn't appear to be too happy with his coach this offseason. But yesterday, Belichick said, quote, "I've always had a good relationship with Tom." USA Today's Jarrett Bell was at practice yesterday and reported that Belichick screamed at the offense, including Brady, and then made them sprint down the field. So, Shannon, what do you make of that?
I'm not surprised. This is Coach Belichick. This is who he is. This is an offensive-based football team. And going back to when I was in the mid-'90s playing with the Broncos under Mike Shanahan, he did a lot of yelling at us because we had the best players, John, myself, TD, Ed, Rod. So the expectation level, even the first day of minicamp, he expected us to be in mid-season form. I'm like, dude, do you realize that I ain't caught a football since the last time I caught a football. I ain't ran no route since the last time I run a route. And you out here yelling, but that was the expectation level. And Coach Belichick is still upset that they lost. Skip, this doesn't normally happen to them, especially as of lately in the Super Bowl. And he's like, nah. he's probably going to drive them even harder. He says, I've always had a great relationship with Tom. And he has. You know why, Skip? Because he treats Tom Brady the exact same way he treats everybody else. He had a great relationship with him.
And Tom takes it.
Exactly.
Right?
So that's the thing, because Coach Belichick knows there will come a time, players have shelf life, Skip. Sometimes it's 1 year, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 20 plus. Because, Adam Vinatieri, Skip, he came in the league in 96 and he's still kicking. So he's 23 years deep.
Mm-hmm.
So Coach Belichick knows that at some point in time, he's going to have to make a tough decision.
Yep.
So I can't afford to get too close. But I'm not surprised by Coach Belichick yelling and screaming, because now the problem that I have, and I remember having to run because someone on the offense jumped off sides or someone did something. Make him run. Why I got to run? First of all, I wasn't even in, Skip. We had to run as a whole unit.
It's a team game, Shannon.
Well, I wasn't a part of the team that was out there making that mistake. I was on the sideline. So why I got to run the lap? But I get what Coach Belichick is doing. I don't believe Coach Belichick is. Tom Brady's had this man for 19 years. Tom Brady probably can tell you verbatim, after win, after loss, or whatever, what Coach Belichick's going to say. You know why, Skip? Because he's the exact same way. And the one thing that players respect most, if you're going to be a jerk, always be that. If you're going to be a butt, always be that. But if you're going to be a certain way, all we ask is consistency. And if you give a player that, he'll respect you for it. You might not like all the things, practicing in the rain and practicing in the snow, or you got a bubble and it's cold outside and we can't go inside. I was like, Mike, why don't you just tear this thing down and make it a parking lot? Because we don't ever go in here.
Yep.
It's 10 below zero and we practice it. Well, it might be that. Well, no, we playing in Miami. It ain't going to be 10 below in Miami. But I get it. Coach Belichick says, nah, Skip, football is a grind. It'll either grind you down or it'll polish you. You got one or two choices. Coach Belichick said, I'm going to polish you guys, but I'm going to grind you first.
So, I hear everything you just said, but I ask you to step back just for a second and think about what just happened in this moment. Bill Belichick was profanely yelling at the offense run by a quarterback who, last seen on a football field, was throwing for a playoff record 505 yards and hanging 33 points on a very good Philadelphia defense with a hellacious pass rush.
Guess what else he got to hang?
Yeah, well, let me finish. While Bill Belichick's defense was allowing 41 points to the backup quarterback of the Philadelphia. Well, I think it's Bill Belichick's defense. You know it, and I know it in the end. And I know a whole lot of superstars who, in this moment, under these circumstances, and by the way, it was chilly and rainy outside yesterday in Foxborough. I know a lot of superstars who would have been at least thinking to themselves, you're yelling at me? I was the MVP of the season last year. I'm going into my 19th season this year. And you're yelling at me. You're going to make me run a lap of a wind sprint where I got to go up and back. By the way, guess who led the pack on the sprint? According to Jarrett Bell of USA Today, Tom Brady.
They let him.
No.
Skip. Now, you've seen this man run. There's not an offensive lineman on that team that Tom Brady can outrun. And he led the wind sprints.
Okay, but in that case, you know and I know it's about effort and energy. It's like, how much are you going to put into this? How hard are you going to try to run? And Brady is going to try to run the hardest because Bill Belichick is a blessed man. He's very lucky because Tom Brady loves to be coached. He grew up being coached. He's old school. He's throwback. He likes to have a head coach who's cracking that whip, right? So he felt back in hard. So he's back in his comfort zone. Yeah, yell at me, scream at me, curse me out, make me run.
I hate you, Coach.
Yeah.
That's what he said in the back of the back. You do all those things, what you said. Coach me hard, get me better. I hate you. You make me sick.
Because deep down, I believe he, more than ever, that little voice in the back of his head is screaming that. And I'm going to remind everybody in that Jim Gray interview that was just, a month or so ago, right here in Santa Monica, not far from the studio here at Fox. And Jim Gray asked him if he felt appreciated by his regime for all that he has achieved. And he said, I plead the fifth. Tom Brady said, I plead the fifth. And then Jim Gray asked him, are you happy? And he said, Tom Brady, I have my moments. That was his mindset going into, and he skipped the non-mandatory portion of the OTAs, right?
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time since coming off his injury year, I believe, right? So he'd already made a little resounding statement there, and yet you just know this is a ticking time bomb. History would tell you, human nature would tell you that at some point Tom Brady's going to snap under this kind of coaching. He will.
I mean, what history tells us, it probably shouldn't have lasted this long.
I would agree.
So Tom has had to swallow a lot of pride, because that's a prideful man. You don't accomplish what he's accomplished without being prideful. But so is Coach Belichick. So for the better part of 18 years, Skip, everybody swallowed their pride. Everybody says, okay, yeah, I think I'm most responsible. But, you know, I'll put on a public face, and I'll say, hey, oh, it's great. He's unbelievable to coach. Skip, coaching a great player isn't easy, because you have to maneuver a certain way, because there's certain things you – now, Coach, I've never seen anything like this. The way I've heard Coach Belichick talks to Tom Brady, he talks to him like he's talking to an offensive lineman.
Okay. Wouldn't that make Tom Brady the easiest to coach superstar ever?
Yes. Because, especially because the position that he plays. They're fragile, and you don't normally have the head coach that would chew a quarterback out, especially of his ilk, in public.
See, I wonder if you took John Elway and put him in those shoes yesterday, would he have taken that? I don't know.
Well, they never called John. You know, I got the bird. It was my fault. John threw the ball over my head. I ran the wrong route, which I didn't, but okay, fine. I'll go ahead and bear that. I know.
That's LeBron-esque.
Yeah, I know what's happening. You know, hey, he killed like 4 worms. That's my fault, John. I should have went up under the earth and got it. That's my fault. I bear that. I'll take that burden.
But you know that's life for John,
that's
right?
the way it is.
Yeah.
But sometimes there were times that I'm like, Mike, okay, he's telling us if we go down there and score, we good. Okay, we go down and score. The lineman say, hey, Sharpe, let's go get this play, make it quick. Okay, John hit me. I'm gone. Do it again. You just lied. You said if we score, we were done. And we have to do it over and over, or the defense make plays and we just got to keep going and keep going. I'm like, man, I just want to say F it. I really do. Not to this, not to the game, to you, Mike, because you making us do this again. But when we get in the game and you see the fruits of your labor and you understand why Mike made us do it over. And I think Tom Brady, while it's going through his head, you still try to get rid of me. Don't think I forgot that. I appreciate you driving me to this point. Because without you driving me, I don't believe, Skip, Tom Brady would have been Tom Brady without that man. I don't believe that man would have been that man without Tom Brady.
No doubt.
But you have to have the right mix of push and pull. And you have to know how to – some players, Skip, you can ride them like that. Some players you just got to pat on the back. Some players you got to be facetious with. You just got – as a coach, you got to know what type of guy you're dealing with, because everybody ain't going to take that. Trust me. I play with some guys, you yell at them, they'll yell right back at you.
Especially, you have to pick your spots. And that's not a spot, man.
No, not publicly. So you act crunchy with them.
And by the way, this happened in full view of the media that had been allowed in at that point to watch.
So that was pretty early. So ain't no telling what was said later.
I don't know.
But Tom, all right. Tom tough. He tough. You got thick skin.
Well, I just think he's going to be propelled through the rest of this year, fueled by the fact that he keeps reminding himself, my head coach would not play Malcolm Butler 1 snap in the Super Bowl. All right?
You know what's really thinking? Like, man, my coach wanted Jimmy Garoppolo taking these snaps that I'm taking right now. That's what he's thinking.
All of the above.
Man. I mean, hey, it ain't easy.
And my coach is now yelling and calling me a you-know-what. Okay.
I just don't like that running part. I done ran enough. All right, offense, take off. I wasn't in there. I'm on the back, Joe. I'm getting Gatorade. Why I got to run?
It's a team game.
Man, jump offside again. But then sometimes, you know, I get mad. You know I am, Skip. I'm a little petty like that, Joe. I jump offside. Just
to make everyone else run?
By the way, Jarrett Bell wrote that Tom Brady looked great yesterday. Looked fresh and accurate.
Everybody looked
accurate.
Everybody look fresh.
Zing on his pass.
Ain't nobody rushing you.
Okay.
Old Brandon Graham, I bet he have a night. Woo. He wake up in a cold sweat. He see old Brandon Graham in the ball off his hand.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back again tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.